Welcome to podcast number 292. Are you planning enough in pre-construction? Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're doing well. It's 10:27 a.m., so I've got to get this posted within the next hour and a half. I did make my commitment, because I'm getting the podcast posted before the morning, but I apologize. Most people like to listen to them right away. I had a really hard Sunday. Everybody get your really tiny violins out and play me a sad song, but man, I was freaking out. I was tipped over last night. I started it was 10 o'clock. I just got done with my Takt meeting with the Germans, and I was going to do the podcast, and I also owed a video and a LinkedIn post and I was dealing with computer issues and I was stressed out about 5 or 6 things, and then I had to get up at 3:30 in the morning, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm going to ask for forgiveness. So I just went to bed. I got up this morning. I'm feeling jamming right now. I really appreciate your patience, if you were patient with me. And so here we go. So what we're going to talk about today is pre-construction. So this is the last episode in the Integrated Production Control System series. And I'm really excited to be able to go on to other content, but I'm also very proud of the information that I'm sharing here, because this works. If you implement this, you will have a remarkable project if you hold people accountable. So, what am I excited about in life? Last night, as I was doing the podcast, I wrote nothing. I was like, I'm not excited about a darn thing. But I've changed my mind this morning. All of my meetings worked out really great. So things that were bugging me were, worked out. But I'm excited about people making progress and doing what it takes to take their next step. This is a little bit of a rant moment for me, but 9 out of 10 comments come back super, super positive for the trainings that we do at Elevate Construction. I mean, just overwhelmingly positive. And I had this up. I need to pull it back up, but open my SurveyMonkey account. There's just some really great comments that come back. People that just take it to the next level, absolutely love it, and they do what's needed to take the next step. That isn't the case with everybody. There's usually 5 to 15% of people that just don't want to make progress, and they're just not a good fit for me. And so I'm thankful today, and what I'm excited about for today are people that make progress. So let me give you an example, and this is why I'm tipped over. I got a comment last week that there were 2 people that didn't like superintendent boot camp. But the others, like I said, the other 85% loved it. And here are the comments that I get back. I survived the superintendent boot camp, and you should also. Don't be left behind in the construction industry. Let's elevate construction together. Elevate Construction Boot Camp is for any leaders or companies that want their superintendents to be operating at high levels. Jason, together with his team, brings the total package for an exceptional experience. The boot camp has given me a set of tools that will increase my leadership abilities and help with my next career steps. Thank you. Truly life-changing, both personally and professionally. I'll never be the same again, and that's a good thing. This is a high-intensity program which will push you to your limits. The Superintendent Boot Camp was an amazing experience that will not only give you the skills to be a better superintendent, but more importantly, it gives you the skills to be a better person. And I could just go on and on and on about the feedback. And then I'll get comments like from like I said, 5 to 15%. I didn't like that. It wasn't my cup of tea. Or some people are really negative and fight against it. And I'm quite frankly pretty annoyed at those people. And so I came over the list on the plane coming back from Florida, and it's the "you will hate me if." And my wife helped me put this together. If you don't like boot camp, we could have filtered you out with these criteria. And so if anybody ever hears, or if you hear yourself in these descriptions, you probably don't want to come to boot camp. So here they are. Number one, if you don't like Tony Robbins, you're probably not going to like boot camp. Number two, if you're happy where you are in life in your career, you're probably not going to like boot camp. Number three, if you don't have much aspiration to be better or get better, you are definitely not going to like boot camp. If you're about to retire, and that has nothing to do with age, you could be 35 and wanting to retire, but if you're about to retire, you're not going to like boot camp. I've heard so many times, hey, I got 8 months and I'm putting in the towel. Why would I do these things? Okay, number five, you have arrived in your position. If you've arrived in your position, you want to stay there, you are just not going to like boot camp. If you don't want to progress outside your comfort zone, you will hate boot camp. If you do not love listening to me on this podcast, if you hate listening to this podcast, then I can promise you're not going to like listening to me at a boot camp. The other thing is, if you don't like people or you don't particularly care about people outside of maybe your immediate family, then you're not going to like boot camp, because the reason you go to boot camp is to do better, to elevate the industry, and to give to others and to give first. And so I put this you will hate me if list together to either just let people reflect on, do I want to do this, and to possibly filter out the 5 to 15% of grumpy superintendents that don't want to go make progress. I don't really want you wasting my time and bad-mouthing me, and I don't want you hurting the 85% of the supers that come and make a life-changing move in their career, right? 85% is a high yield. Like, I challenge you to find a program anywhere that has that high of a yield for exceptional feedback. And so here's why I'm annoyed about it. I want to work with people that want to make the environment better for foremen, for workers, for families, for the industry. And if we're so selfish that we're like, I've arrived, I am comfortable, I didn't like that, I don't want to have to progress, I don't have any love, like, please be quiet with the eyes. This is so annoying. I want to work with givers that are willing to take it to the next level, that will be the guardians of people. And so that's my little rant today. I'm annoyed at people that are so selfish in construction that they don't get what we're here to do. And that's the thing. When superintendents are like, why would I do this, Jason? Why would I change how I've done this? I've always finished projects. I've always pushed to the end. I've always been able to do it this way. We've always made a little bit of money. Why would you want to get better? The freaking why is because you're ruining people's lives working on your stupid project, because you are pushing people. You have dirty environment. It's unsafe. It's unclean. You make people crash land at the end. People have to work 12-hour days. They don't get home to their families in time. They're freaking stressed out. They're disrespected. They're miserable. And that's why I felt like with superintendent boot camps, if we take them through remarkable jobs, and they go and tour these jobs, and it's such a great experience. When I was there, I'm learning, man. I wish I could take videos of all this. I also, one day, I want to find the crappiest job in the area where I'm doing a boot camp and tour people there and have them go to the restrooms. In fact, one time I had an idea. I could go to a project, average job, take one of their restrooms, and have those be the restrooms cleaned at the same frequency, and have those be the restrooms for boot camp, and see what people say. And then let's see where the 15% that don't like to progress, where they end up. And they're like, oh, can you get these cleaned? Well, we'll get these cleaned when the project sites get cleaned and when the workers have better conditions. So probably in 3 days, you'll have a nice bathroom. In the meantime, why don't you go out there and go number 2 without toilet paper? I would love to recreate for people the misery that they put their workers through. And that's the why. Why would we be better? Why would we do Takt planning? Why would we be better planners? Why would we have stable environments? Why would we grade contractors? Why would we hold people accountable? Well, the why is because we're taking care of people. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care about whether or not you want to progress. I don't care if when you went to boot camp, you didn't like the final exam. The 85%, 90% most cases, like change their life because of it. And so you're going to sit here and whine because you're uncomfortable. I don't give two hoots in hell if you're comfortable. I want to make that clear to all superintendents out there. I don't care one forking bit if you are comfortable. I don't care. It's not even in my mind. It's not even a data point. I care if your families are taken care of, if you get home for your family, if you have mental health and wealth, and if you're meeting your career goals, and if the team is balanced, and if your workers and foremen are respected. I don't care if you're comfortable. We discomfort ourselves to comfort the workers. That's it. That's the end of the story. Don't care about your feelings. I don't like, please don't waste my time talking about whether or not you are comfortable. I want the workers out there to be comfortable. I want them to be in stable environments. And if you have to be pushed out of your comfort zone to perform at higher levels, then by darn, you need to get that done. So that's my rant. And we're already 10 minutes into it. So I hope I've pissed some people off with this, because I'm tired of the whiny, stupid excuses of, oh, that was hard, blah, blah, blah. Well, why don't you go out and swing a hammer all day, bro? Because, like, it's pretty hard to be a worker. And it's pretty crappy when you don't have a place to eat lunch. And it's pretty crappy when then you have to, like, literally go to the restroom without toilet paper. And when the superintendent doesn't talk to you. And when the superintendent makes stupid decisions like pushing crews on top of each other because they don't know what they're doing. And so I'm saying all of us need to elevate now, today. I got one last thing. I'm not done with my rant. The other day, somebody was like criticizing the Takt book, and I love it. I published it on the podcast. Give me more. Like, keep doing it. I love when all these critical people out there that aren't doing anything to elevate the industry like to criticize me on LinkedIn. I'm like, yes, please, 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 please keep going. I love this. I need to get used to it. I want to practice getting more and more criticism. Well, what's interesting is I publish a book fast for people to like get out there and be able to start their journey with Takt planning while I'm continually making edits and get criticized while they at the same time don't do a damn thing to improve the industry. And I'm the one that gets criticized. That's fine. Keep hitting me in the face. I love it. But I'm going to outpace you. I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outgrind you. And I'm going to do more for this industry than you ever thought of. So keep criticizing me. Keep hitting me in the face. At the end of the day, it's just like Taylor Swift said, all you're ever going to be is mean, and I'm going to be successful. And success to me is helping others. That's it. I'm done with my rant. Maybe not. No, yep, I'm done. I'm done. So everybody that doesn't care about people, sit down and shut up, because I'm ready to make a difference for humans, because those workers deserve it. And I want you to know this. I want to make this very clear. If you run a dirty, disgusting, horrible job with crash landings and you keep doing it and you know better, like I sound like a Sith on Star Wars, but you're my enemy. Like I am fighting against you. I want you to retire. I want you to change. I want you to repent. I want you to stop doing this. I want you to get your act together. I want you to be very uncomfortable. And I want everybody out there that's trying their best, making mistakes, not doing perfect. I don't want them to feel guilty or ashamed at all. I make mistakes every day. But if they're trying, then you are my ally and you're my friend and you're doing a great job. And I appreciate the contribution that you make to this industry. Even if you're not perfect, even if you're struggling, even if you have hard times, even if you fail every now and then, it's the attitude that pisses me off. I'll finalize this by saying, people with a fixed mindset will hate boot camp. People with a growth mindset that want to grow and improve will love boot camp. And that's 90% of the people that come. All right. Here's some feedback. I'll keep it short and sweet. Jason, thank you for the great content you provide. And they gave me 2 exclamation points. I love it. So let's get into it. Let's get some conflict. Pre-construction is the key, and we're not spending enough time there. Our superintendents come on site. Once we have an NTP, the war's lost, bro. Like the war is gone. Like if you wanted to win the war, somebody either had to win the war in pre-con, or you're going to have to get lucky, or the builders would have to spend time in pre-con. Like that's all there is to it. We win the war before going to battle. That's how it works. If you don't have an aggressive, dynamic pre-construction system, then what you should do, you should stop this podcast right now, and you should go talk to your president, vice president, whoever, director of operations, and be like, let's schedule a meeting. we're going to get pre-construction going. So let me tell you the principle. A day in pre-construction will save a week in the field. An hour in pre-construction well spent will save a day in the field. To build a great job, we must plan it first. Our encouragement is to really focus here, to get some help if needed, and to really win before going to battle. Here are the needed steps. We need to first implement what I call the first planner system. And so some of you do this a lot, so I'll go through this, but you have to create a project strategy. If somebody cracks open Takting or Timoti, or if you're doing CPM P6, God help you if you're doing that, but if you crack open the schedule right away, you're on the wrong business, my friend. You need to create a project strategy, and you need to dig into those drawings and create flow. And once you do that, you need to identify the constraints. What about the building, the owner, the weather, the sequence, or am I constrained by? And then you need to incorporate the contract requirements. I can't tell you how many times a scheduler, they'll give me like a 70, not within companies where I'm in charge, but like people like outside the organization, they'll be like, here's a 76-page schedule. I'm like, where are the sequence drawings? Where's the logistics plan? Where's the basis of schedule? Where's the supportive documents for this? And okay, you have substantial completion on here. Did you reference the prime agreement? Did you reference the Division 1 specs? No, well, I didn't do that. Well, how in the all holy fornicate can you have a schedule where you don't even know what we're contractually obligated to do, but you haven't described where it's going to happen? This proves my point. I'm on a rant today. Like I'm upset. Okay. Somebody gives me a P6 schedule and it doesn't have sequence drawings with it. That immediately tells me they scheduled this with batches, that they have huge batches by major areas without breaking the work down, which causes waste and extends how long it takes to build a job and underestimates how long we should plan to build the job. And it completely ignores production theory. Like it's so stupid. Like every single day that I think about CPM, I'm like, what? We still have people that think that works? That's surprising. So we have to research the contract requirements, the Division 1 specs. Okay, number 4, identify the flow, the sequence, the breakout orders of the project, and create Takt zones. Perform a Takt analysis of major phases, foundation, structure, exterior, interiors. Use the formula that Janosch and Marco taught us, where we take the number of Takt wagons plus the number of Takt sequences or Takt areas minus 1 multiplied by the Takt time gives you your overall project duration. Let's do an analysis. And then for restricted logistical areas like basements or postage stamp sites, let's do a day-to-day geographical analysis to make sure we fit within those Takt plans. And then finalize your Takt plan, identify your Takt zones, detail out your Takt sequences, refine the Takt time and the stagger of the trains, connect all the Takt phases the Takt phases together within the overall duration, right? Perform an analysis of bottleneck activities, optimize those bottlenecks, use production rates from historical data. And then you should start to schedule in your constraints. When is your drying? Your milestones rather. When is your drying? When is your air on? When does MEP have to be up and running? When is your tower crane up and down? When does your hoist come down? Things like that. And then we keep going, make a procurement strategy and add procurement to the schedule. And begin those meetings right away. Like for skin and elevators, you're starting that in design development. But from a procurement standpoint, if we get the materials here, we can build it. We have to know how the procurement ties to the schedule. And then enter in regional constraints like weather, permitting, workforce capabilities, things like that. And then plan with the wider team to review safety and quality as a part of the schedule. Get your procurement logs up and running. Get your procurement meetings up and running. Create your 90-day mobilization schedule and your project startup plan. And then begin working on entitlements and permitting and clear the way. The other step in pre-construction is the people and teaming part of it. You always have to build the team first. So here, I'm going to go through these quickly and stop whenever I feel like I need to go on a rant. So, number 1, engage the project team as soon as possible and have a superintendent on board to begin planning early in pre-con. That's if you don't have that right now, that's step 1. If you got to hire one or two and have some people on the bench and eat some overhead, do it. You're going to save so much more money in pre-con by not running so lean that you can do some of this preparation. Number 2, design trailers for collaboration, communication, and enjoyment. You cannot underestimate this step. Reach out to me if you need help. Number 3, identify roles by role, scope, and geography for the site and create an organization chart that fits your culture. Number 4, ensure the plan has enough time in the schedule to prevent a crash landing. Number 5, review GCs and GRs with the team before setting the deal. Make sure you have the right team size. Identify a project logistics foreman. Perform a pre-construction excellence pull plan with the team to get organized as soon as possible. That means, what do I need to do in pre-con to get this project queued up? Quality meetings out the door so contractors can start with contracts in hand. And then the last 2, create a respect for people plan that's specific to the project that takes care of your workers and foremen, and begin a team balance and health strategy with the project team so that you can start building the team right away. Okay, the third section, winning over the workforce. It's our job to win over the hearts and minds of the workers. And we do that by, in pre-construction, creating a plan for the bathrooms, creating a plan for the lunchroom, scheduling the start of our daily worker huddle, our morning worker huddle systems, making a budget for barbecues, craft feedback, and other workforce events, interaction spaces, swag, t-shirts, whatever. Make sure that we have money in there for the trailers and worker enjoyment. Do they have a lunchroom? Do they have the bathroom? Make sure we have the smoking area, good parking. Make sure that we have that planned in pre-con. If we don't plan it in pre-con, it's just not going to happen the way we want. Okay, next section. Make sure we have contracts and costs for the culture. So we need to buy out the needed behaviors on site. So modify all attachments or exhibits to work orders to drive behaviors. Track all needed contract inclusions for site logistics and operations with your estimators. Buy out coordination efforts that will predict schedule success. That's in-wall coordination, BIM, prefab. Buy out just-in-time procurement by Takt zone. That's super huge. You're not going to get just-in-time procurement if you don't break it out and buy it out that way per Takt zone. Buy out the last planner system and lean methodologies. Ensure items about zero tolerance are included in the contracts. You have to be clear about how you're going to run the job. Okay, now we're almost done here. Schedule health and the right detail. Your schedule has to be maintained as a tool. So before you go to GMP, you need to detail out all remaining portions of the project and just flip page by page and make sure it's all in there. Enter in things like lift drawings, BIM, quality meetings, pre-construction meetings, double checks, layout, all of that stuff. Detail out MEP, startup, commissioning, balancing, life safety testing, fire protection testing. Set up pull plan sessions to map out in detail at the right time so you can refine your Takt sequences. And then finally, and most importantly, your risk analysis. Widen the circle and prevent risk by seeing the future. So you need to maintain a basis of schedule. You need to maintain tax zone maps. You need to get trade partner input and buy-in for the schedule when possible. You need to use production rates for activities that do that have trade input. You need to agree on milestones with the wider team and the owner. This is the most importantly, hold a fresh eyes meeting with the team. That's your pre-job stand and deliver risk review meeting that really goes through the tax plan and how you're going to build the job. Once you have that, establish your baseline schedule with Takt with your owner. I said with Takt, stop doing the CPM thing with me. Okay, the other thing is establish an owner interface and management strategy with them so you can stay with them. This is the overall list of steps. It seems like a lot, but you can plug this sequence into any scheduling system you want and track it as you work through that project and have major success in how you execute and you win the war before going to battle. So that's what I recommend. The current condition is we don't have on most companies, like surprise, surprise, we don't have even the companies that used to do it, they're getting out of the capacity to be able to do it. And they don't have supers and pre-con. And that's why one of the reasons why we're seeing more and more crash landings over and over throughout the United States. We have to get this going. Our current condition is we're failing to win the war before going to battle. Right now, you're a super, you're a PX, you're a PM. If you have a job that you're neglecting and it's not over the top awesome with pre-con, then give me a call. We need to work out a plan And you need to set up your leader standard work to where you can go in there and do that planning. You need to just say, all right, Thursday, I ain't on the job. Like, you all should cover for me. I'm not going to come out here and play savior with people. I'm going in that office and I'm planning this next job. And if you're not putting dedicated time in there and doing it the right way, you've already crash landed your next job. And so my challenge to you is, let's get a pre-construction system, a first planner system that will set you up for your last planner system and for your Takt control on site. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.